And the mind games drag on. Well, well. How bold of you to just waltz in here like this, Artoria. Does this mean you finally scrounged up a bit of manners, guts, and confidence, then? You're not fooling anyone, Nocnaria. We could hear your soldiers scrambling to get out of here. Don't be ridiculous. Those were my footsteps, no one else's. Now I won't hear one more word about it. 1, 3, 5, 7. I'm not surprised to see Oberon's not with you, but what about that other girl? You know, the one who looked like she was in heaven, with her cheeks all puffed out, full of my chocolate. Gareth, right? Gareth, I mean, Lady Gareth, stayed in Londinium to defend it as one of my knights. There was no sense in her coming all the way out here just to see another evil empire. She's already been to Camelot. Well, that's too bad. I was planning to give her a tour of my chocolate factory. Oh well, another time perhaps. Anyway, I know how you guys went up to Orkney without my permission. You know damn well that the North belongs to the King clan and that trespassing is prohibited no matter what your reasons might be. Honestly, what are you, some bandits hiding out in the mountains? I guess you still have yet to learn your place. Would you have given us your permission if we'd asked? We did go through the Lake District, you know. Huh? Nocnaria? Why did you freeze like that? I'm not frozen. I swear, what are those guards thinking? How could they let a human into my cathedral? I'll have to give them an extra special reward for this later. Oh, now I see. Sorry to interrupt your friendly chat, but it sounds like you already know that Orkney's bell has been rung. Good, that saves us the trouble of filling you in. Anyway, yes, Orkney's bell used to belong to the Rain clan. But now that the Rain clan is gone, the King clan are the bell's de facto guardians, as you well know. That means to an outsider, which is to say, from Morgan's perspective, it looks like the King clan has officially recognized the Child of Prophecy. What do you make of that? What do I make of it? Hang on. Who are you? My name's Grima. Well, technically I'm the second to bear that name, but that's neither here nor there. I've been watching over Orkney's bell on behalf of Merlinus Ambrosius. Crap, I almost forgot! When Queen Maeve and Cuchulainn mix. Oh man, you're right. Aha, so you're Grima the Sage. The last queen told me you're a cold-blooded bastard, but you'd be bound to show up eventually. You once taught Esk the Savior magecraft, right? I see. If you're here, then I guess this so-called savior must be the real deal after all. Huh? Is that all you have to say, Nocnaria? I mean, this is Grima, you know? You don't feel any connection to a spirit origin? What are you talking about? You there. Do we have a connection? Nope, sure don't. You're Nocnaria, the proud queen of the North. You care far more about your life and destiny here than you do any silly ties from human history. Speaking personally, I for one couldn't be happier about that last part. Is that so? I don't know what that's all about, but thanks. I'll say this for you. You do have a nice smile. Anyway, that aside, Grima is right. Now that Orkney's bell has been rung, I don't have a lot of options here. Just this morning, Morgan sent me a final warning. It said kill the Child of Prophecy at the Ashen Shore when she returns from Orkney. If you fail to do so, I will consider my treaty with the previous head of the King clan null and void. The end. A treaty with the previous head of the King clan? What's she talking about? None of your business. The point is, if I don't kill the Child of Prophecy, there'll be war. Of course, I was always planning to fight Morgan at some point, so that part's fine. The only problem is you, Artoria. Remember what I told you before? Get an army of my own, ring at least 2 bells, learn to carry myself in a manner befitting the Child of Prophecy, right? Well, if you can rattle all that off so readily, it must have really gotten to you. I'm glad I took the time to deal with you before. Yes, those were my conditions, and you've met them, which means you're worthy of joining forces with me. That is why you came to Edinburgh in the first place, right? An alliance between the King clan and the Child of Prophecy, hmm? I like it. Well, that was easy. It's too soon to celebrate just yet, Silver Shinobi. Nocnaria would never make things so easy. Just look at her. That's the face she makes right before she squeezes some poor sucker for everything they're worth. Hey, I've never made a face like that. Still, you're not wrong. My skin might smell of sweet honey and be wonderfully soft, but I myself am neither. I'm willing to form an alliance, but needless to say, I'll be the only king. If you're going to join me, you need to pledge your loyalty to me and obey my every command. Also, only fairies are welcome to join my alliance forces. So, as far as the Round Table Army's humans go, I think I'll turn them into bees and put them to work in my chocolate factory. I'm sure they'd be much happier that way, since those pathetic, useless humans would be the first to die when the fighting starts anyway. Wait, Silver Shinobi. You don't have to say anything. Nocnariop, the Round Table Army is the best army in all of Britain. The day we obey you is the day apples start falling back up onto their trees. If you want to command us, you'll have to pound us into submission first. So how about it? You and me, fairy to fairy. Unless, of course, you're too chicken to face me. You're on. This will be a battle to determine the next king of Britain. A fight for the throne, our pride, and beauty itself. I swear on the name of the previous queen that I will face you alone and on fair ground, fairy to fairy. The winner takes command of all our combined armed forces, and the loser has to do whatever the winner says. And as a bonus prize, the winner will also get to claim the foreign mage as her spouse. What? I missed that last condition, but fine, whatever you say. So how are we going to do this? Another chess match? Don't be ridiculous. This is Edinburgh, the headquarters of the entire British sweets industry. There's only one kind of battle fought for pride and beauty around here. Valentine Mad Match, the ancient traditional art of fire confectionery. Fire confectionery? What? Huh? You mean you don't know about it? I see. You really are just a country bumpkin, aren't you? Knock it off with the yokel digs already! Besides, we country girls are tough cookies. Excuse me, I wasn't originally going to say anything since these negotiations are between Artoria and Nocnaria. But now that the stakes have become personal for Chaldea, I have to ask. What exactly does a mad match entail? That girl's got as much magical energy as a Tom Lin. But she's also wearing black armor and carrying a great shield. Is she the one from Sheffield? Very well, I'll ignore your impertinence this one time. The Mab match is the last will and testament of the King clan's previous leader, Queen Mab. It's a law that says whoever makes the most delectable looking chocolate shall be queen. Pretty sweet, right? And I, Devil Karen, the chocolate fairy, shall be the judge. What the what? Okay, so this went from 0 to 100. Yeah, there we go. Oh, there's a big boy. Alright. Medium chance to inflict charm for a single enemy when attacked, plus increased defense for yourself. Okay, first shine. Buster. Dragon Witch. Alright, okay, that looked like it did a fair bit of damage. There we go, nullify buff. Okay, got the debuffs off of Nobu, so that's good. Let's see. Uh-oh. Okay. Let's go ahead, Sword of Selection EX for herself. Oop, didn't mean to do that. I fat fingered it. Let's see. Now he's target focusing on Nobu. Ah, damn it. Okay, that guy's down. And now all that's left is to finish her off. All right. It seems these would-be contenders have what it takes to compete. As the Chocolate Fairy, I declare this map match is now officially underway. The taste testing shall take place at high noon tomorrow. Contestants will have until then to prepare their chocolate. Both contestants must use the cooking facilities provided in this cathedral, and may employ up to one fairy assistant. Any questions? None here. I can't wait to get started since I already have someone in mind to give this chocolate to. I'm going to make the best chocolate anyone will taste all year. It'll be better than anything Gloucester has to offer. Hang on, are we really doing this? What in the world does making chocolate have to do with choosing a leader? Everything. This has been the law of the land in Edinburgh for the past 1600 years. There is no such rule in real-life Edinburgh. All right, Lady Artoria, you take the Star Kitchen. Lady Knocknariap, you take the Moon Kitchen. I will prepare rooms for the night for the rest of Lady Artoria's companions. I'm afraid you won't be able to talk to the Choc-testants while they're in the kitchen, but you're free to talk outside the kitchens if you like. Alright, enjoy your chocolate making, and remember, fortune smiles on those with truly strong hearts. Well, at least it was nice of them to reserve rooms for us, but... Mash, I wish I could go help Artoria myself, but... I know, you'd like me to assist Artoria in her chocolate duel, right? I may be a demi-servant, but the fairies seem to treat me as one of them, so that shouldn't be a problem. That would be great. Thanks for doing this. But before you get started, I'd like to go over everything we've learned so far, just us Chaldeans. You already told us about what happened after you were sent to the past in Norwich, of course. But I still want to hear what happened to you before then, and fill you in on what's happened with us. And this should be a good place for a private chat, especially since Muramasa and Grimmer are in another room. So that's what happened to you after we got separated. Salisbury, Gloucester, Londinium, Manchester, and the Lake District. Plus everything with the Round Table Army, of course. I never would have guessed that Pepe was here too. And as a count of all things. I'm sure it fits him like a glove. Unfortunately, Pepe is not the only crypter here. We saw Beryl in Camelot, too. Though it sounds like you were actually the first to run into him here. That's right. I saw him in Sheffield. That was when... You lost the Black Barrel, huh? Beryl probably took it for himself. I'm so sorry. All the time and effort you and Sion spent on it, and I just left it there. It's okay. Trump cards pop up when they need to anyway. Again, I'm so sorry. If only I... Hey, you still didn't have your memories back after the Nameless Woods ordeal, right? Then there's no way you could have known. Don't worry about the Black Barrel. We can always track it down. The important thing is that you're still alive. And fortunately, it looks like we won't even need it for this mission anyway. Really? I mean, if we don't have to use it, that's great, but... The Child of Prophecy is no slouch herself. Not to mention... Yep, we have something even better than the Black Barrel now. What do you mean? Are Director Gordolph and Holmes coming up help us in the Shadow Border? Oh, no, nothing like that. I'm talking about you, Mash. The Ordinax may not be working right now, but your Spirit Origin is putting out more power now than it ever has. It's probably the Tom Lynn rules at work. Barghest and the others were gifted the Round Table Knights' names. But you're gifted with Tom Lynn Galahad's name, on top of already borrowing his power, giving you effectively a double Galahad bonus. No wonder you were able to go toe-to-toe with Lancelot. You're basically a high servant now, a peerless warrior even among peerless warriors. You can feel that too as her master, right, Silver Shinobi? Yep, you're a Super Mash now. I see. Then I'll do my very super best to help. Precious eggplant. Hey, we're gonna go look around the city. You guys wanna come? Time for some recon, huh? Toria might be busy in the kitchen right now, but we've got nothing but time on our hands. So we gotta do something to make ourselves useful. How about you, Da Vinci? I'm going to sit this one out. Besides, I still have to write my report. Say, where's Mash? Isn't she with you? Artoria needed Mash's amazing chocolate-making skills more than we did. Gotcha. Sounds like she's got a real shot at winning then. If it came to it, I was thinking I'd make the chocolate myself, but maybe now I won't need to. You're way too easy on Artoria, you know that? Is that any way for one of the foreign god's disciples to conduct himself? Shut up, you blue-haired dillweed. I still owe her my life for saving me from that auction. Besides, I ought to be asking you why you were so easy on Nocnariab. She look like a friend of yours or something? Actually, yes, but even though she's the spitting image of her, they're completely different people. Nocnariab's been living her own life free of influence from any human history connections. I had to go after my destiny, but she took hers by the horns and made it submit to her. I swear, I've never seen such a free-spirited woman anywhere. You can't help but smile, right? Watch this be the one version of Queen Maeve that Ku actually falls for. You don't say. So the last Queen Mab disappeared in the era of the High Queen 400, and Nocnariab was born 100 years ago in the era of the High Queen 1900. So the city went without a leader for about 1500 years, huh? That's right. I thought it was strange when I first heard about this too. But apparently the Northern Fairies continued to live by the past Queen's teachings, even after she was gone. They say she told them that a new King Clan Fairy would be born again one day, and they were to obey Morgan until that day came. So what happened to the Northern Fairies after Nocnariab was born? They went right back to their old ways, of course. Things have been tense between them and Morgan ever since. For 100 years, Nocnariab's been teaching the Northern Fairies order and discipline, gradually turning them into a real army. When Einzel predicted the Child of Prophecy, Morgan wasn't the only one who was worried. I bet Nocnariab went ballistic upon hearing the news too. At least on the inside, she was probably all, I've been working towards this for 100 years now. No way am I letting some podunk backwater fairy beat me to the punch. Ah, now I gotcha. So that's why Artoria and the Queenie hit it off so well. Is this one of those you only hurt the ones you love things? I mean, they both know what it's like to bear the weight of crushing responsibility. They probably never had anyone else they could curse out without it being a big to-do before they meet each other. They might be in completely different circumstances, but they're still equals where it counts. The way I see it, things are going to work out no matter who wins this contest, so let's just let them have their fun. All that aside, you sure know a whole lot of things, don't you, Greamer? Anything else you know but haven't shared? Like, say, why this place is called the Queen City? I don't know where the name comes from. I already told you everything I could. Huh. We're a long ways from the main road now, aren't we? Oh, hey, guys. You out for a walk, too? I don't blame you. Not much to do up in our hotel room, after all. We thought we would take advantage of the opportunity to do some sightseeing, too. Especially since we almost never come this far north. You guys see anything unusual? No, not really. What's with you, Redra? It's not like you to be so hedgy. Well, I'm hoping this is just my imagination, but there seem to be a lot more WindClan fairies here than I was expecting. Oh, are you guys new here? Welcome to the Edinburgh Development Ward. This is where all the refugees who haven't been able to share in Lady Nocnariab's power live. Still, we're all treated as full citizens. We all have jobs and roofs over our heads, even if they are just tents. In the meantime, I'm sure Lady Nocnariab will make you guys into KingClan fairies once the war against Queen Morgan is over. So go ahead and put your tent up wherever you like. If you're lucky, you might even get a job in the medical ward. Don't worry, Moore's disease isn't nearly as bad as it's made out to be. What is Moore's disease? Ah! Is that a human? What in the world were you all thinking, bringing a human to Edinburgh of all places? If Nocnariab finds out about this, you'll all be... Wait, don't tell me. Are you guys also... No, we're travelers. We're just passing through. We'll be leaving tomorrow, so please, don't worry about us. I see. Then, guess I'd better get going then. Sorry for taking up your time. No way that guy actually lives around here. There's something way too shifty about him. He's probably one of Morgan's spies. A lot of room for rats like that in a city this big. Should we tell Nocnariab about him? Don't bother. We can't snitch on a resident on Muramas's hunch alone. For that matter, have you noticed how all the fairies in this ward have the scars on their shins? I'm guessing they're either refugees from the south, fairies who've lost their purpose, or fugitives who fled the south. So this town's full of criminals, huh? I guess Nocnariab's either really magnanimous, or she's really big on cheap labor. Maybe it's both? Every fairy becomes land when they die, regardless of what they were like in life. So having more fairies live here means that her territory will eventually expand. That must be how Edinburgh grew to this scale in the 1600 years since Queen Mab disappeared. Then something doesn't add up. If fairies have been living up here for over 1600 years in the era of High Queen, then why are the edges of Britain unchanged since the FAE era? Could this city be? I wouldn't put it past Mab to do that. Turning a desolate wasteland into a prosperous city in a single generation? Her next generation being born 100 years ago? I knew it. Now it's all making sense. No wonder Morgan's left her alone all this time. If she plays her cards wrong, Nocnariab could end up becoming a calamity herself. Habitrot? I'm probably just overthinking it. There's no way that could actually be the case. Anyway, let's head back, Red Rabbit. It's all wasteland up ahead, so there's nothing more to see here anyway. I see. And I take it you're going to ride on my back again? I was the one who said it wouldn't be any trouble, but that was before I knew you were much, much heavier than you look. That's because I got substance where it counts. Just you wait. Once I eventually grow up, old Happy Cat's gonna have the most banging bod you ever see. Aren't you the type of fairy who never gets any older? Anyway, I wouldn't wander around here too much if I were you either, Silver Shinobi. I don't know why Nocnariab let you off the hook, but if you run into any northern fairies with long memories, they won't think twice about ganging up on you. Oh yeah, I guess you'd know more about that than I do, since I only have the first Screamer's notes to go off of. Tell us something, Habitrot. The northern fairies used to be the first group of fairies who coexisted with humans, right? Like in the War of Summer and such? So why does Nocnariab hate them so much now? I was wondering about that too. What, you mean you don't even know that? Alright, I guess I can tell you. It all goes back to what happened about 4,000 years ago, during the War of Summer in FAE era 2000. Queen Mab invaded Britain from the Western Island, drove the other clans to the brink of extinction. Word has it that Ace then stepped in, convinced Mab to back down and reconcile with the clans, and had her and her people officially recognized as the King clan. But that's not exactly the whole truth. For one thing, Mab would never agree to reconcile with the clans when her victory was already assured. Yeah, good point. I always thought that story spun things a little too neatly for the other clans. Wait. Don't tell me. Yep. Mab snatched defeat from the jaws of victory right at the very end, when her human right-hand man and husband betrayed her. And of course, Isk wasn't about to pass up a chance like that. She backed Mab into a corner while she was already writhing in pain and gave her the thrashing of her life. Then she made her swear to join the other clans and never attack Britain again. When it rains, it pours, huh? I know that kind of underhanded tactic is par for the course when it comes to war, but still. No wonder she hates humans so much. Heck, I wouldn't be surprised if she wants to wipe them all out. Nah, Edinburgh would never be this grand of a city if she just wanted to wipe humans out. I think the real question that story raises is, why was she writhing in pain? Okay. That night in Silver Shinobi's room. Wonder who that could be. Come in. Excuse me, Senpai. I'm back on temporary reprieve from chocolate duty. But this chocolate battle is very heated, so I can't stay long. Heated, huh? I think I can guess how things are going. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like you to answer a question for me. What shape do you think would be best for chocolate? Well, taking that Artoria as a beginner into consideration, I think I'd have to say something standard. I knew it. Thank you, Senpai. This was very helpful. Okay, I better get back to the battlefield. Sleep well, Senpai. Now who is it? Come in. Woohoo! It's okay, human. There's nothing to be afraid of. I'm Aiken, Lady Nocnariab's faithful soldier. Lady Nocnariab just finished the 8th step of her chocolate recipe and is currently taking a break. Once she's finished, she'll be up all night working on steps 9 through 19. But for now, she'd like someone to talk to while she takes her break. Yes, of course, I mean you. There's no one else in this room. Just accept that there's no getting out of this and come with me. And don't even think about trying to escape by jumping out the window. Boy. Needless to say, a fairy in Lady Nocnariab's position has many things to consider at all times, so this break she's taking is on a strictly need-to-know basis. There won't be any guards keeping watch. This is as far as I go, too. Don't worry, Lady Nocnariab's hatred of humans may be famous, but she's still not as unreasonable as a night call. As long as you hold your breath, keep quiet, stay perfectly still, and never speak except to agree with her, you might just make it out of there alive. Alright then, good night and good luck. There you are. I didn't expect you to come alone. Have you been enjoying the Edinburgh nightscape? We may not be as fancy as Gloucester, but I like to think our main street is still a pretty sight. Just a little bit on the way here. Oh, what am I saying? Of course you did. I could tell from that sparkle in your eyes. That's the look of someone who picked up a beautiful insect thread scarf before stopping by a cafe for a chocolate-infused cocktail. My Edinburgh really is the best, isn't it? Just look at how it's even entranced the foreign mage with its charms. But I digress. I invited you here for a very specific reason. Tell me about the outside world. What Morgan called proper human history. I don't care about it, of course, but as the Queen of the Northern Fairies, I need to at least be familiar with it. Or are you so scared to be here without your companions that you can't even speak? Foreign mage or not, you're still just a weak little human after all. You could never be the one to make a call about whether to leak classified info to an enemy on your own. Okay, let me start with Chaldea. There, that shut her up. And that's about the long and short of it. Hang on. You covered all that stuff so eloquently that it was easy to follow along. I need you to stop here for a moment, though. I need to process all of that. Okay, there's Chaldea, heroic spirits, lost belts, proper human history. Okay, I basically got it. Looks like there's not much point in thinking about this stuff now, is there? This is the kind of thing I can worry about after Morgan's been defeated, right? Exactly. There's no need to get into it now. That's fine, then. Thanks for the valuable info. You have my gratitude. The gratitude of a queen. A good ruler does more than just wage war with their enemies, you know. They also need a plan to rule their nation after they've won. I know Britain isn't really surrounded by a sea of nothingness. There's actually a much larger world out there beyond the water. Of course, fairies typically hide in the woods and don't mesh well with the human world. But with the right motivation, there are a lot of ways to get around that. Can't believe there's still so much to do even after things are wrapped up here. I can't wait to get started. Are you talking about expanding your chocolate factory? That's right. If there's another world that rich in resources, I'll have to make another Western island. And pay this. You call it North America, right? A little visit. Oh no. That's how the E pluribus unum singularity started. I guess that means you and I will be enemies again when that happens. That should be fun. She really is just like Maeve. There, you just made that face again. Just like the one you did when you made that weird comment about my chocolate fields. Why is that? Is there a version of me in your world too or something? Wait, on second thought, don't answer that. I really want to know about this other me, but if I find out now, it's going to make me throw a tantrum. Oh crap, now I really want to tell her. Phew, that was close, but I managed to preserve my queenly dignity. I don't think that's dignity preserved. Because if anyone saw that, I'd have them executed before they could tell anyone. I saw nothing, Your Majesty. Very good. A perfect response. Still, maybe I should at least ask you this. Let's say another version of me did exist in your world. In her final moments. Was she not betrayed by her lover? Did she remain a cold-blooded queen to the end? Of course. I see. Well, of course I was. There's no way I, of all people, would ever die of a broken heart. So what kind of valiant warrior defeated me? They must have been a really strong fairy, right? Huh? Cheese? As in the stuff made from sheep's milk and eaten with bread? Huh, so there's a cheese fairy in your world. Maybe they're related to Ike and Drum. The cheese was just a method. A human slung it. So that other me was killed by a human? That's what you're telling me? Did you just take all that trouble to tell me such a ridiculous story, even knowing how much I hate humans? It's how that particular queen met her end. Are you kidding me? You can't say that kind of thing with a straight face. It's a total mood killer. Then again, it was a human that was responsible for the last queen's downfall, too. I guess when you're big enough, even a little pebble can trip you up. Thinking about it that way, I could see my other self getting killed by a human. But hey, at least she wouldn't have to put up with any weird curses afterwards. If you don't mind my asking about the last queen. That's right. Losing her lover hurt her so badly that she couldn't fight anymore, which led to Ace beating her. Matt put too much trust in humans. She thought they were the same as her, and so she loved them too much. She charged onto the battlefield with her most beloved soldier by her side. He did his best to keep up with her, but he couldn't quite make it to the end. Just when they'd won their final battle against the clans, Map turned, intending to celebrate with him, only to see her beloved draw his final breath. It's no surprise, really. Of course a mere human could never keep up with a fairy, let alone an A-ray like Mab. But he still promised to stay with her, and he broke that promise. That was his betrayal. That was when Mab lost the will to fight. The moment she realized how foolish she had been, and how much that soldier had really loved her. Still, her broken heart was all healed up by the time the era of the High Queen came around, and she soon set her sights on ruling all of Britain. Mab then retired after she built Edinburgh, and no new King Clan fairies were born for a long time. She left a hole for about 1,500 years until I came along and filled it. I'm the second King Clan fairy ever. I inherited Mab's power, and I'm truly worthy of being queen. I am a truly great fairy. I hate humans because they're useless in war. I'm not going to make the same mistake Mab did. I'm going to defeat Morgan with my clan alone. That's why I don't need Artoria's roundtable army getting in my way. It's an eyesore at best. I'd make your peace soon if I were you. Once I win tomorrow's duel, all humans will be mine to do with as I please. And I'm going to put you all to work in my nice, safe chocolate factory with full benefits until the day you die. I'm not worried. Artoria's going to win. Besides, humans aren't as fragile as you think, Nocnaria. Okay, break's over. I'd better get back to work. Enjoy your freedom while you can, Silver Shinobi. This is the last night you'll have it, after all. I'd better get to bed. Now who is it? Come in. I'm getting a bad feeling about this. Made you look. You totally thought I was knocking on your door, didn't you? Well, this time I came in through the window. Oberon? Easy there. Keep your voice down. It's very late, you know. And what's more, I'm traveling incognito today. If anyone asks, I was never here, okay? Why incognito, you ask? Okay, it's partly because I got tired of being the Roundtable Army's errand boy and ran off for a while. Really, though, it's that the Fairy King never stays in one place for too long. And the real reason is that I was worried about you guys. I mean, we're all friends now, right? Of course I'm going to worry about you. So, on that note, I hope you don't mind that I'm here. So, good evening, Silver Shinobi. Congratulations on ringing the 4th bell. We could hear it all the way back in Londinium. Roundtable Army's morale has never been higher. Percival's made a seat at the table for any Fang Clan fairies who want to come over from Oxford. Gareth's been having a great time in Londinium with the kids. They just finished tilling a new field, in fact. Spriggan seems to be up to something, which worries me, I admit. But all in all, the South has been relatively stable so far. Of course, whether it stays that way is all up to you guys. You're here to talk to Knocknariap, right? I've been hearing rumors about tomorrow's map match all throughout the city. If Knocknariap joins forces with the Child of Prophecy, that'd be a huge boost to our chances against Camelot. Once Knocknariap agrees to an alliance and Artoria rings Oxford's bell, we could begin our attack on Camelot in around 3 days. But what about the 6th bell? I'm sorry, I've been looking everywhere for it, but it's still no luck. Still, the bells of pilgrimage are meant to show that the clans have recognized the Child of Prophecy. And since the last one, the Mirror Clan, is gone now, there arguably isn't much point in ringing theirs. So I think just 5 bells ought to be enough. I hope you're right, but... Something bothering you? Artoria's been getting more stressed with every bell she rings. I see. Well, that makes sense. You know how she gets stronger every time she rings a bell? At first I thought that meant she was growing, but I realized it's actually more unlocking her latent power. Hey, Soul! Well, thank you for the raid. Unfortunately... DK's Little Mac Horde. Right, you were doing the secret fighter in Punch-Out, weren't you? Let's see. But I've realized that it's actually more unlocking her latent power. I think the Fairy of Paradise is probably born with her true power essentially bound. And the Bells of Pilgrimage are a means to break those bonds. They probably also restore the knowledge and memory she's always had, but were locked away all this time. Every time Artoria rings a bell, she learns more about her duty and her destiny. Now that she's rung 4 of them, she's probably a completely different person from who she was when we met her in the Nameless Woods. How so? By now, she must have a much stronger sense of duty, and I'm sure her priorities must have shifted a lot too. She's probably making decisions based on what the Child of Prophecy should be doing, rather than what she herself actually wants. Am I wrong? I don't know. If anything, I think she's being more true to herself than ever. Is that so? Well, in that case, I guess it's a good thing she's so naturally stubborn. Still, I can tell you're concerned about her, and that you're keeping your concerns to yourself so as not to worry her. Do you remember what I said before? In this Lost Belt, you and I are just bystanders. Our role here is to see how things play out. Well, of course I remember that. Well, it's still true. We can't save Britain, and we can't save Artoria from her destiny. Once we acquire a means of fighting the foreign god, the best thing we can do is put this place behind us. That being said, I really respect your determination and your commitment. And I'm not just talking about to Chaldea, I'm talking about every step you've taken to get here. Once Morgan has been defeated, if you still want to save Britain, no, if you still want to help Artoria, I'll support you however I can, even if it means going well out of our way before helping proper human history. Do you think it's okay to say how I really feel? Of course it is. When you get right down to it, the only ones who can do really big things are those who work hard for what it is they want. Trust me, I've come this far on my own too. So I have some idea of what that feels like. I mean, you've been working so hard for so long, I think you're entitled to put at least 1/10 of that effort into indulging yourself. Thanks. Artoria is another matter, though. I have no intention of indulging her. You know how she's incredibly competitive, but has almost no self-esteem? Not a great combination. If we don't keep her in line with her sense of duty, she's liable to go completely off the rails. You really are hard on Artoria, aren't you, Oberon? Of course I am. You would be too if you spent as much time worrying about her as I do. Only to have her go and do something you never expected. I don't even know how many times I've had to pull strings from behind the scenes anymore. Ugh. If only she'd grown up more like a docile princess and less like a wild boar. I mean, sorry, that's more a personal preference thing than anything else. Honestly, well, I think Artoria's fine, just fine the way she is. There's certainly never a dull moment when she's around. Well, now I know he really does like her. Anyway, that's enough chatter for today. In fact, crap, I've been talking too long. I need to be back in Londinium by morning or I'll skived off. Bye. Are you sure Artoria isn't your Titania? I don't know about that. I mean, I'm always on the lookout for her even now. But even in a story with a guaranteed happy ending, she's only the very smallest of bit players. She's a convenient plot device, forgotten as soon as it's no longer needed. No one ever gave a thought to her happiness when all was said and done. But that's the life of a side character. You can't stop to worry about every little thing, or the whole world will fall apart. You can't expect that kind of imagination from a reader, or even from the playwright writing their script. Besides, it's all just a fairy tale. She was born to be forgotten with the turn of a page. So it's okay. My queen is the sort of woman who should never actually exist. Hey, Rectin! What's going on? Okay, it looks like I'm gonna need my team of foreigners if I'm allowed to have them. It's probably gonna be another restricted formation. How have you been? Been doing alright. Oh, wow. Got lobsters and everything. Good day, distinguished guests, and thank you all for coming. This is the moment you've all been waiting for. The Valentine map match to determine which of these two fairies is prouder, more dignified, and just overall better than the other. This isn't quite what I expected. In the Moon Kitchen, we have Lady Knocknariab, leader of the Northern Fairies and daughter of the last queen. Damn. Is that all chocolate she's carting around behind her? It's enough here to make a chocolate Ortonax. In the Star Kitchen, we have Lady Artoria, the child of prophecy who has made even Queen Morgan sit up and take notice. Uh-oh. Is that stuff she's carting behind her really chocolate? Even Mash's shield looks more appetizing. Are both contestants ready? You now have 1 hour to complete your finishing touches here in the cathedral. Remember, chocolate is toxic. Be sure to go out with a fiery finish. Okay, so. Go on, Star Kitchen! You can do this! Please direct your attention to Lady Knocknariab in the Moon Kitchen. As you can see, she is both calm and unhurried, even as she remains constantly in motion. A sure sign of someone with eyes on the prize. When I stopped by her kitchen this morning for a comment, she said, and I quote, "My chocolate isn't merely a delicacy. It's art designed to melt your very soul." And looking at how it's coming along now, I believe it. I only wish all of you in the mezzanine could see this too. We can't even see it from the ground floor. Don't you have any screens around here? Unfortunately, only those in the box seats can see the action unfold for themselves. If that interests you, you can always reserve one for the next map match for 60,000 more pounds. 10 times the price of the mezzanine seats, huh? Sounds fair. Next, please direct your attention to Lady Artoria and her dazzling collaboration with her assistant in the Star Kitchen. Is that a cake? I've never seen such wonderfully intricate decorations on one before. Her assistant is practically glowing with magical energy. I mean, sheer concentration. In the midst of all this chaos, she's adding details down to the millimeter. What an absolute madwoman! We may have a dark horse on our hands. Word on the street is that Lady Nocnariab was a shoo-in to win, but at this stage it looks like the odds may actually be favoring the star. Whoa, it already looks good enough to eat. You really are great at this, Mash. Okay, now to add a pinch of my secret ingredient. Yeah! Are you an idiot? I do beg your pardon. Please continue to enjoy this unique form of chocolate making. So we should just run for it now, right? Nah, can't believe I'm saying this either, but we still don't know how this is gonna go. Valentine chocolate's more about feeling than flavor, right? So there's still a chance she could pull ahead. Flavor's pretty important too, though. Time's up! Alright, contestants, let's see what you've got. First up, Lady Nocnariab in the Moon Kitchen. Magnificent, truly magnificent. The sheer artistry and technical skill on display is a sight to behold. They didn't even show it. This chocolate Edinburgh castle with a special 19-layer coating perfectly captures the dignity of a queen. If ever there was a chocolate to take its recipient's breath away, this is it. Though I think actually receiving this would be a bit too much, in more ways than one. It's all true, of course. But there's no need to be that effusive with your praise. I couldn't have done this without my capable assistant, Aiken Drum. Thank you, Lady Nocnariab. Now, it's time to see what Lady Artoria's made in the Star Kitchen. I can't imagine why you made such a bold choice for your chocolate, but let's see it anyway. Whew, it's a normal heart shape. It looks good, but I don't know if it's enough to beat that castle. Are we really going to have that SpongeBob versus King Neptune moment? No, it can't be. What the meow? What's the meaning of this? Who? Huh? What's with this reaction? I understand how you feel, everyone. I'm right there with you myself. But as your MC and as judge, it falls to me to be the first to say this, so say it I will. An incredible shape. It's smooth, plump. It seems to be practically pulsing with warmth. Well, that's what I call a Valentine. We're all witness to the birth of an all-new chocolate design. Ah. Woohoo! What power! What strength! I can feel my blood boiling with excitement just looking at it. I simply have to ask you, Lady Artoria, how did you come up with this design? Why did you abandon that lovely cake your assistant made in favor of this? That shape is the Northern Fairy's most venerated symbol. It means prove thyself the strongest. What made you think to use it for your chocolate? Are you some kind of genius? Oh no, definitely not. Mash just taught me how to make it, that's all. She said it also represents the heart, even though it looks nothing like a real one. And since it's so simple to make, it's easy to put your own heart and soul into it. Easy to put your heart and soul into. What a beautiful expression. I can't believe I, of all fairies, forgot about the single most important thing that goes into chocolate. That's right. It doesn't matter how expensive your ingredients are, or how fancy the brand is. What truly matters is the feelings you put into it. While Lady Nocnariab's chocolate is undoubtedly more beautiful to look at, and surely more delicious, there's no question that Lady Artoria's chocolate is the clear winner when it comes to sheer passion. As of this moment, I have nothing but the highest respect for her. And so we have our winner, Lady Artoria of the Star Kitchen. Huh. That's it, Artoria. You finally found your own forte. Taking credit as her mentor despite being completely uninvolved. Well, I'll be damned. I had no idea you had an ace like that up your sleeve. Would you consider selling me the rights to that idea? You did it, Artoria! It's all thanks to you, Mash. This makes me the 212 practice chocolates we made worth it. Wait a second. Do fairies not know what a heart shape is? Is there no concept of a heart shape in this Lost Belt? Sure looks that way. Either that or they just don't associate that symbol with the heart or soul. I mean, just look at Nocnariev's magical energy aura. Oh, right. She can't see it herself, can she? This doesn't make any sense. The castle should have won no matter how you slice it. How did they make that into some kind of feel-good story? Now, let's just call this a one-of-a-kind fluke victory. Besides, knowing Nocnariev, I'm sure it'll just be a matter of time until she incorporates heart shapes into her next beautiful cap. Huh? Hey, Artoria, how come your chocolate looks like it's pounding? Did you do something to it? Just to be sure, it's not about to explode, is it? Of course not. Not even Artoria could mistake gunpowder for Nope, I definitely didn't. Trust me, I tasted every ingredient and only put in the yummy ones. All of them. All of them? What exactly do you mean by all of them? I mean all the different ingredients, of course. You guys had so many good ones for us to use that it would have been a waste not to use them, right? Yeah, it's true. I saw it myself. While Mash was cleaning up the mixing bowls, Lady Artoria used some shifty technique to squeeze all the ingredients into the chocolate. That gave the chocolate a massive amount of magical energy, fusing its ingredients and creating a new life form. And now, as you can see, it's created a calamity that threatens the entire world. What? The Child of Prophecy made a super weapon! Run for your lives! Ah! It's damaging my cathedral! It's turning my fairies into chocolate! What in the world were you thinking? You can't just mix in anything and everything! Let me guess, you're the kind of fairy who thinks anything that takes 10 minutes at low heat to cook can also be cooked in 2 minutes at high heat, aren't you? She just nods. No hesitation. Master, we need to fight to preserve Artoria's honor. I mean, to cover up the evidence. Some hearts just can't be saved. Nice turn of phrase there, Mesh. Please don't beat it up too badly. I promise it should still be really yummy. I feel so bad for Artoria. Alright, switching my Avengers with foreigners. Let's get Abby. Abby would like chocolate. And Voyager. And Mysterious Idol X. And Mysterious Heroine Double X. And Hokusai. Let's go ahead and remove that one, actually. And let's do it. If Morgan hears about this, she is never going to live that down. Alright, let's see what we got. Ooh. How about a mass hysteria to lower defense? Chocolathulu. That reminds me, I still need to get the materials to get Voyager to his final ascension. Oh no! Oh no! Okay, good. Good. Decrease charge by 1 attack. And let's see. Alright, okay, good. First shine. Swing by. Let's go ahead and Brave Chain with Voyager. Shoot. Artoria's probably dead. Yep. She's out. Alright, excellent. Now the only issue is who he's gonna hit next. Actually, King's singing voice. As long as it's not heavy, it's... Okay, good. And then... Good thing Voyager had debuff immune. Well... Nocturia! Look out! Huh? Nocturia! "5 years ago, in Gloucester, an incident took place several days after my humiliating experience at the Farium." Oh, you're a King Clan fairy, Nocturia? I've never seen one of you before. Well, that's no surprise. I don't have any subjects in the south yet. But just you wait. One day all the south's major cities will be home to King Clan fairies. That's what the northern fairies all want, and it's the destiny I've inherited from the previous queen. So you're carrying on the last queen's purpose, huh? But you're the only King Clan fairy around, right, Nocturia? So even if you do get the northern fairies to move here, that doesn't mean there'll be more King Clan fairies. Sure there will. Any fairy I share my blood with becomes part of the King Clan. Huh? Is that sort of a mindset thing? Like the difference between being a bully and a victim? Wow, you are just the worst at analogies, aren't you? Queen Bee and drones were right there. Or even a king and her vassals. Anyway, there's always only been one King Clan fairy ever since the King Clan began. Mab was born from the corpses of the many northern fairies who were killed in the War of Spring. Sure, their bodies became part of Britain itself when they died, but they also refused to be reborn as next generations. Well, it was more like since there was no land where they would have been born, they would have just died and been born again right away. So rather than subjecting themselves to a cycle like that, they decided to pour all of themselves into a single king. That king was Mab, the Great Fairy. She was kind of like the Northern Fairies' version of Queen Morgan. Mab was all of the Northern Fairies combined into a single fairy. Her rules focused on control and prosperity. That allowed her to share her power with anyone who swore loyalty to her. So she did just that with fairies who sought her out, and created a place for them all to live on the Western Island. Of course, creating a whole island took a lot out of her, so she was pretty weak by the time it was done. It just goes to show you never know what life has in store. If Mab hadn't grown weak, she never would have taken on the bodyguard who would eventually become her spouse. A spouse? And let me tell you, they could barely keep their hands off each other. It was like a never-ending spring. And that's why you should always avoid spring. Stick to autumn and winter. At any rate, anyone who swears loyalty to the King Clan gets to share their power. That means any fairy who's given some of my blood becomes part of the next King Clan for as long as they remain loyal. As the Queen Bee, I have my drones show their loyalty by performing labor, and the drones in turn get my power for themselves. So, the more northern fairies I bring together under my command, the more the King Clan grows in number. I see. So when you share your power, does that power eventually come back to you? No, it doesn't. That's the one big downside to this system. I don't lend them my power, I give it to them. So the more King Clan fairies I make, the weaker I become. But obviously that wouldn't be sustainable, right? So of course Map thought of a solution. She expanded her FAE domain to encompass all of Britain and made a new rule to go with it. As long as her subjects remain part of the King clan, the clan's combined power shall be her power as well. So even though she was pretty poor after doling out money to all of her subjects, she hadn't actually lost anything, since the whole kingdom belonged to her. She chose to empower her nation rather than herself. I think she was really onto something. A nation can't grow by the hand of one person alone, on one set of values. You need many working together to make it as rich and beautiful as it can be. Gloucester here might be a little, twisted, but it's still a prime example of what I'm talking about. That's why my duty is to claim Camelot's throne for myself and unify all of Britain. It would have been a lot easier if Morgan had named me her successor, but instead she chose Tristan, right? So, as long as that whack job's around, what choice do I have but to take it by force? I couldn't believe my ears. She talked about seizing Camelot's throne with the same nonchalance as someone talking about going for a walk. As far as I'm concerned, she was already a great queen at that point. Even as she talked about what the last queen wanted, she still chose to be her successor. She spoke of her ambitions greedily, selfishly, and without a hint of shame or concern as to what anyone else might think. That's the Knocknariab I knew, the most hard-working fairy in all of Britain. That's one hell of a purpose. But are you sure it's okay to tell me that? I mean, you're talking about revolting against the queen, right? Oh? Are you going to report me? Could you even do that if you wanted to? Especially when you're practically radiating death to all the clan's energy yourself. Am I? You are. I know I'm something else, but you're pretty impressive in your own right, you know that? You see yourself as being apart from every other fairy out there, right? Hell, everything about you is out of the ordinary. I'm not talking about the kind of lower class and upper class distinctions that Morgan chose. No, in your case it feels more like you're an entirely different kind of being altogether. Basically, you're looking down at every fairy in Britain. Are you nuts? I'm the one who's looked down upon. That's it. That's the spirit. Being reasonable is all well and good, but pieces of you will die if you take it too far like I did. Huh? Are you saying you're dead on the inside, Knocknariab? Even though you're so, well, brazen? Oh, wait. I get it. It's the other way around. You're brazen because you're dead, like the Darlington zombie incident. Don't be ridiculous. Ow, ow! Stop that! There's no need for violence! That was just an example. Or rather, that all happened a long time ago. I saw you apologizing to that fairy you were with in the hall earlier. Was that your village's leader or something? No, forget that. It doesn't matter. The point is, you kept apologizing, saying you were sorry you're so weak and promising to try your best next time, right? Well, cut it out, at least when I'm within earshot. Hearing that crap really pisses me off. What's wrong with being weak? Who gets hurt if you can't do it? You're the only one who's going to get upset about you being weak, and it's not other fairies who will be doing their best next time. Of course, it's natural to have regrets over failures, mistakes, overeating, and so on. But never ever apologize just for being weak. There's no greater waste of time. And just so you know, I'm not telling you this because I feel sorry for you. I'm mad because apologizing for your weakness doesn't help anyone, least of all yourself. With that kind of power, you should be holding your head high and fighting for what you yourself want. You're a real fiery fairy deep down, right? Like a dragon pretending to be a house cat. So quit worrying about what everyone else thinks of you and sink those fangs into your dreams. Because believe me, there are plenty of people out there who don't have the power to even do that. Those words were what really astonished me. She was born into luxury with incredible power at her disposal, but despite that, or maybe because of it, she also understood exactly how much she and her fellow fairies were truly blessed. Easy for you to say when you're not the one who'll have to live with the consequences. Alright then, If you're going to lecture me about dreams, what about yours? You've probably already sunk your fangs into them, but still. My dream? You need to ask? It's romance. When I find someone who rocks me to my core, our romance is going to rock the whole damn kingdom to its foundation. Are you crazy? Besides, that's no dream, that's reality. I mean, you must have had a lover for ages now, right? Well, that's just it. I don't. Hold it, you just laughed at me in your head, didn't you? Don't get me wrong, I'm not lacking opportunities. I could have anyone in Edinburgh if I wanted. Right, of course. How could you not when you're so pretty? I mean, but then, why aren't you dating anyone? I guess it's my way of setting myself apart from the last queen. You know how depriving yourself of the thing you want most lights a figurative fire in your belly? Well, I'm going to use that fire to clean the throne and save my romance for after I'm King of Britain. It was so ridiculous I couldn't help but laugh. She didn't even realize that she had her purpose and her dream completely mixed up. She didn't want to become king so she could then have a romance. She just wanted the romance and felt like she had to get her predecessor's wish out of the way by becoming king to do it. What's so funny? What's your dream then, huh? Is it that much better than mine? I guess mine's not too far off. I want to try walking around the city as an upper-class fairy. I want to be proud and stylish like you are. I can only imagine how great that must feel. I remember thinking I wouldn't mind having her for a rival. I'd had to go without a lot of things for my life, but at least in terms of someone to compete with, it looks like I got everything I could have asked for. You idiot. This isn't pride. This is fashion. I don't mind helping you with that side of things, but that's not what the real dream is. Anyway, first, we need to see who can put down the burdens we're carrying the soonest. Should we see who gets there first? That night, I took in the same sky as my incredible friend, a fairy who spoke of her dreams with pride and nobility. I thought I'd sealed that horrid memory away. Looks like he... Oh, good, you're awake. Uh-huh. Why are you all looking at me like that? Did I mess out on something fun, or... That's right, I remember now. I took a direct hit from that chocolate. How dare that thing revolt against its creator? Come on, everyone. Let's smash that thing and eat it up like the sweet treat it was supposed to be. I guess you really were just knocked out for a bit. Have pleasant dreams, since it seems you were up all night? No, I didn't. And I wasn't up all night either. I slept great, if you must know. Now, do you give in, or what? Yes, I give in. You won the map match fair and square. Lucky for you, the judge made her decision before all the spectators ran for their lives. As promised, I'll let the Child of Prophecy command my forces, and I'll go along with whatever you tell me to. I look forward to seeing what you're capable of. Uh-huh? Are you feeling okay, Noknaryep? Did you eat something that didn't agree with you? I think we all came close to eating something we shouldn't have. She's talking about the Alliance. Oh, right! Still, are you sure you're sure about this? I mean, given what a horrible mess this turned out to be, it doesn't really feel like I won. Oh, good, so you do see what a mess this was. I'm glad to know you still have some semblance of rational thought left in that thick skull. Anyway, while it's obvious I would win a rematch, we don't have any more time to waste. Especially since the Queen's probably known you were in Edinburgh since last night. And once she realizes we're teaming up, she's going to assemble all her forces scattered in Camelot. So we need to take her down before that happens. Are you ready to do this, Artoria? You need to hurry back to the south, ring Oxford's bell, then bring the Round Table Army and any other troops you can gather to my camp. In the meantime, I'll have my forces march to Camelot's main gate. But I thought you said you never joined forces with the Round Table Army. I just don't want to see them dying in front of me. Can't ensure their safety since they can't join my clan. But I will admit that human knights, Percival included, are a good match for the Queen's knights. My subjects certainly can't use Morse poison weapons, so I suppose I can make an exception, especially since I've been told humans aren't as fragile as I believed. Isn't that right, Silver Shinobi? Oh well. How nice to see you two became friends while I was up all night learning how to make chocolate. By the way, Knocknariab, do you still remember that night in Gloucester? Of course I do. What do you take me for, a fool? At any rate, you have my word that the Northern Fairies will fight beside the Child of Prophecy. Now get going. We don't have any time to spare. Okay, that's fair. I was the one who rang Orkney's bell. Silver Shinobi, Mash, Da Vinci, Muramasa, Happy Cat, Redra, and Grima. Please pack your bags as soon as you can. We need to hurry to Oxford. No, I'm gonna stay put here. You'll need someone to coordinate communications between you and the North, right? Besides, it looks like these guys don't have a mage of their own, so I'm gonna teach them some basics they'll need to know when going up against Morgan. You will? Well, as long as you can be useful, that's fine with me. Don't you worry. I'm going to inscribe runes on as many of your soldiers' shields as I can. Morgan's spells pack a serious wallop, so we gotta make sure they can take at least one hit from them. Okay, I'll make you my official court mage and tactician then. This is great! Now I'm really starting to feel like a queen. Well, see you later, Artoria, Silver Shinobi. I would have liked to show you around Edinburgh, but that'll have to wait until another day. Next time we meet, it'll be on the battlefield. Let's make sure we're both dressed to kill. All right. Oh, hey. You know what? I think that would give me the perfect opportunity to actually try one last time, at least for now. All right. Well, the one I want to get for gameplay purposes is Oberon, because he is the first servant of a pretender class. So, alright. Here we go. Hopefully, after a few days, my bullshit no jutsu is recharged. Let's see. Rin, Pyo, To, Sa, Kai, Jin, Ritz, Zai, Zen, Ho. Barashi no Jutsu, Kiro. Alright. One more single. Let's try this again. Rin, Pyo, To, Sa, Kai, Jin, Ritz, Zai, Zen, Ho. Barashi no Jutsu, Kiro. Nope. Damn it. Is there anything else I can get from the shop? Nope. Damn it. Well, with that, I guess I'll have to settle with that for now. Let's see. Who are we going to raid? And what are we going to raid with? Okay. We are gonna raid with oh, right. Almost forgot the second emote there. Alright, we are going to raid with Death by Chocolate. We are gonna raid with... Alright, and... let's see... we'll go ahead and raid Haruka Caribou, or Haruka Caribou, who is currently playing some Donkey Kong Country. Alright, let's see. There we go. Jeez, that thing took a bit. All right. Hopefully my schedule doesn't get derailed again. So, I will see you guys tomorrow, where I'll probably stream some more Mega Man Maker so that I can finish that puzzle level Jump Dash and Fate sent me. All right, later. Let's raid.